Hey, guys, let's move to the middle over here, next to Sid, Or
yeah,
wait.
let's move to the middle.
Yeah, let's move to the middle.
That way cops on the street can't hear us
Holy
talking.
fuck! There's like 30 people, like 20 people here.
All right, chat.
We're fireman here.
I'm gonna be honest with these guys.
Is heading up right now, guys.
Because, well, depending on what they say today,
Perfect circle.
Perfect.
may change my mind.
Perfect circle.
It's actually totally cool if you
I'm
want to listen in
circling up.
on this,
There.
Kaden. In case when I give you the TLDR and RP, I missed something. This is a bunch of the smaller unregistered gangs like ours, and I'll be honest, I think we might be the smallest out of them all, but that's okay. That's what makes this even more productive. Make the circle a little tighter.
We could get a little closer.
Whoa. A little closer.
I love being close with Alice.
Oh, me too.
I just want someone to be close to me.
Can we just call out which families and crews we got here? So we got Royal Mafia over this side in white. From the left, who else have we got here? Is that SN?
SN, so it's like Nova.
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys.
Chatterbox from the clown zone. All other clowns are sleeping.
Sleepy
All
clowns.
of them.
And you got Mr.
Oh,
French.
you're sleeping.
And just us. And I think that's
Just
you,
us. Yep.
Yes, Aaron and
Yeah.
Mr. French.
Aaron and French from Just Us.
And then we got
Cindy and Blue
then
from Mortel.
Yeah. And then IQ and Alice from
IQ and Alice from Hidden. Some of our members are sleeping as well.
We appreciate everybody being here. And now I know from the last meeting, I think people were very, you know, people have mixed feelings with how it went. Things like that. We've had a chat. Everyone from the Royal Mafia, and we wanted to kind of reiterate exactly what we want here, and some ideas that we've come up that may be able to help us all, not only creating a bigger name, but creating a bigger name for ourselves independently. So one of those things that, you know, I know we did have actually, Mike, do you want to take over from here and just explain what you said to me?
Okay, just real quick. Hey guys, for those of you who haven't met me, my name's Mike Hawk, recent associate of Royal Mafia. So the idea behind this, for those of you, I see some faces that weren't here last time. The idea behind this is basically we're trying to create an underdog story, right? Because in the city, you got the big gangs like Chain Gang, you got Mandem, you know, whoever else it is that kind of run everything. They run the events, they run the storefronts. They pretty much just call the shots with pretty much everything. And so the idea behind bringing the smaller kind of underdogs together is really trying to create the underdog story and making it so that the underdogs have some kind of voice as well. And so our original idea was creating some kind of coalition or some kind of group of smaller gangs or organization that could come together and create a larger voice, you know, between the lot of us. And the original meeting, we were thinking, okay, what can we do with that? What, you know, do we create some kind of conflict? Do we do this? Do we do that? Throw events, whatnot? There's a little bit of confusion, and we heard a lot of voices. We heard, you know, Cindy was talking about her style of running, you know, everything that you guys do, and Chatterbox as well, Mr. French, sorry. We were all talking about, everyone gave input on what they wanted to do and how they wanted their vision for a joint kind of coalition and how it would work. And so after thinking about and having a chat amongst ourselves as well, we wanted to bring a proposal and hear what you all thought about it. And so our idea right now is to create a coalition that isn't based around creating conflict or defending or shooting for each other, nothing like that. It's really around kind of business and events and tapping into the fact that we have our own networks, we have our own connections, events, and tapping into the fact that we have our own networks, we have our own connections.
I like that more.
A lot of people were speaking up and they wanted to be able to, at the end of the day, you know, make more connections, get numbers, share information, et cetera, et cetera. So the idea is that we come together, we form a coalition, and we use this coalition to either throw events, to share information, to do things that don't necessarily have to do with conflict. And we have a couple of proposals about what that could look like for step 1 and step 2.
Love that.
But first, we kind of want to hear everyone's thoughts on like that kind of thought. So initially, it would be something like a weekly meeting where we all get together.
No, I agree. I agree,
about,
NZ.
you know,
We're
like
not in a place for conflict.
You know, whatever. A lot of things change in the
also,
city.
I don't think
as we figure out what's going on,
I think it was very clear that not everybody wants to do like a conflict route.
Use that meeting to also plan out
and
events.
Not everyone
we
should
have a couple of ideas
to.
right now. We'd love to hear everyone else's ideas. But yeah, that's kind of just where we wanted to start it off. Sid, anything else that you wanted to add on top of that?
No, so I think it'd be great to hear everybody's ideas on that. You know, not only ideas, sorry, but they, if they think that's a good idea, if there's something they'd be interested in as a crew. So we can go through. I guess SN, do you want to go first?
I guess I respect what's going on. I don't see any downsides to this. Obviously, if you said, you know, all of our drama is all of our own independent drama, we're not here to fight for each other's, you know, BS. Then I don't see really any downsides to that. You want to host things and put things together, weekly meetings, kind of. And I agree. There are gangs, there are entities in the city that pretty much control the entire city. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't room for other, you know, kind of like what's happening here, that can kind of even that balance. So I respect it. I think that that's a good vision. Again, I don't see any downsides to this. So I could consider ourselves in on this.
Splendid. Okay. Chatter, do you want to go with the clowns?
Oh, are you kind of saying like when we have these meetings and stuff like that, we kind of like, let's say we one gang hears about like good information, we just kind of share things with each other to help each other out?
Exactly. We kind of, you know, run these events through as a whole, as a group, as a coalition. You know, eventually I think we can maybe, I don't know if you guys would be happy to kind of create a name for that coalition so that we could use that on the back end of, you know, publicizing these events to make sure that we all get you know, our name out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, go on, Mike.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I think a really important part about this coalition is, you know, we all want to catch the eyes of the criminal underworld, right? And I think that this kind of coalition is something that exactly the criminal underworld wants. You know, like we're creating a coalition where people have differing ideas, differing values, you know, differing politics and associations, affiliations, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be some side deals. There's going to be bickering, but this is exactly, you know, what they want to see. And on top of that, like we haven't even talked about our first couple ideas of what we would do with the coalition, because we have a really good idea that we're excited to share with everyone. But we first wanted to get people's ideas on this, you know, this underdog story, because like let's face it, the reality is that this city is run by the massive gangs, and we're kind of nobodies compared to them.
I was gonna ask real quick, is anybody else shooting for storefronts, businesses, stuff like that? Are you guys
Yeah, I am.
involving
Yeah.
yourselves in that?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
So that could be a very beneficial thing as well, supporting each other's businesses, really making, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could definitely, you know, do something like that. We could even, I don't know how you guys would feel about this, but if we did set up this coalition, we could even set up, I guess, an enterprise of businesses. If we were all to, like, you know, let's say have one business that had a storefront each, maybe find an area where there's a, you know, I'm just putting out there, like an area where we could all create our business down there to better help, you know, benefit those businesses. But regarding
one thing that like let's say like us, for example, like Kirk, he got into selling weapons, and he can kind of get his hands on just about anything these days. So like, let's say any one of you, let's say, have war going on, clowns don't really want to you know, get strapped up and go fighting, but we probably can sell weapons to you for good deals if you're in a war and in a pinch, you know, stuff like that, on demand, blah blah blah.
Yeah, definitely. I think all of us can, you know, supply those kind of things and help out with different.
Obviously, I gotta
needs
ask Kirk
of,
first,
of
but
raw
it's just an
materials
idea.
if that was to happen. You know, I personally, as the leader of the Royal Mafia, would be happy with that. You know, but I wouldn't expect you know, some of the other crews would essentially be down for something like that as well, because it might drag them into the conflict.
Yeah, what people don't know won't hurt them at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I guess, the point of this coalition as well, is to form a relationship. You know, we're going to begin with these events and begin with, you know, maybe the business front end and things like that. And then, you know, further down the line, months down the line, when we create a better whole, you know, then we can start talking about other things and other means.
Another thing is, Happy is part of Clownsole, and he owns Smoke on the Water. I can maybe talk to him, maybe get everybody here a deal, like every group here a deal on large amounts of joints when you want to buy stuff like that.
I love joints.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Perfect. Okay. Just us, Mr. Frenchie.
I don't know.
Yes. I don't really have any strong opinion on today or more plans, but
That's true. That's true. Being one gang isn't the same as being 6. That's not wrong.
Yeah, I don't have any issues either. I'm just like in the back of my mind. I think what some of the bigger gangs do if they were in our shoes, right? And I understand that this is a way. I understand the coalition, right? But like, how long until we're at the tipping point? Like, is it going to be like a week from now, a month from now? You know, like, is there going to be a time limit where we say, you know what, coalition is awesome, right? But we gotta do something else, right? And so that's just like in the back of my mind. Like, how would CG, you know, how would they do it if they were in our shoes, right? And so that's all I would add. But yeah, no, coalition, awesome. Yeah, I'm down for that.
I think the overall, you know, because this is at this coalition would be something unique, and not only that, like, let's be honest, has anybody here ran a big time event?
Nope.
No.
I used to do events a lot. I was a marketing person.
But was it for a company or was it for, you know, for motels?
I haven't done one for motel, no.
So this is what I mean. Like, you know, we're going to be creating something here for, you know, let's just say the quote-unquote unregistered crews in the city are going to create something that can make, you know, everybody look at it and think, wow, these events are amazing. Like, who are these people? And then, you know, you go from there. I think it would forward everyone's progress, you know, a little bit quicker. And not only that, we'll create great relationships. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be fun. And, yeah, things move on from that. Yeah,
personally speaking, I don't think there's a point in saying what would this person do or what would that group do. At this point, it's more so what are these people not doing that we can bring to the table.
Really
I completely agree.
I also think there's no set path, by the way,
Who's
because
this
I
guy?
think every gang has different personalities, I also think there's no set path, by the way, because I think every gang has different personalities, different core values, and that's why there's really no set path to how you become more established.
Yeah, because
if you're not an extremely confrontational, like Dundee-driven person that just wants to fight everybody, it wouldn't make sense for you to randomly start fighting everybody. If that's not your values. So there's no set path. And that's why I do think business could be an interesting route for us to maybe come together in some way. And maybe it could be called like the board or something. I don't know.
Ooh, I like that.
Board.
But that way, because business is a pretty neutral thing in my opinion, but like the way you run your gangs should never change. And I don't think any of us should have to bend or change to work with either, like any of us.
True. And that's all, we're not asking for that. You know, we're asking for.
And also maybe something that I don't know for my gang, I feel like it's important for us to make sure we have core values and stick to them to find that pathway.
And keeping things separate and keeping it separate between business and conflict. Like, because I have no doubt inevitably some group in here will get into it with some other group in here. And we just separate out the business part from that.
Yeah,
I do think the one way to become registered is making noise of some kind that I feel like we all are on the same page of, like, it's about making noise in whatever way your values.
Yeah, making a splash in the city, exactly.
Yeah,
and I
as
think,
long as it's sticking to who you're true to, though.
Yeah, and I think that forming this kind of coalition is exactly that. It's making a splash, because nothing like this has been done before. Like, you have other, you know, sure, alliances or whatever, but that's usually chain gang absorbing a much smaller group, and that's not a, you know, a people coming to the table on equal footing. That's more of a, hey, mama bear, papa bear, and like child bear, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do and when to do it, right? So this is completely different. Nothing anyone has ever really seen before at this scale.
I'm not sure if that's true.
Oh, is it not?
No, I've heard of things in the south side, you know.
But theirs is more. I think theirs is. It's orientated around like turf and you know, getting into tension with other groups and things like that, protecting what they have. Like, this isn't really. We're not going to be protecting anything. We're going to be creating something. And I think baby steps is good. I think doing events initially, just to get ourselves all on the correct footing, and create a great bond. You know, business next. I think that's a fantastic idea. And Tell what do you ladies think?
It's a slow process.
Yeah, I'm down for like business and shit. Yeah, I don't really see any cons to it.
You know, if there's a business aspect, like how Chatter was saying with the clowns, like supplying things, like that's different. But I think everyone should fight their own battles because it could look a little muddy if other groups are going in for others, you know?
I agree. I completely agree with that. Okay,
I mean, if I can, I mean, I know this is something that probably doesn't need to be said, but it is something that our family kind of takes a little seriously. It's if we're gonna be talking about business and a board and you know what the name of it is and all that's not what I'm trying to get at, but we do pride ourselves on not airing all of our business out there in the streets. And I know with this many groups of people and all the individuals within these groups, you know, I get it, lips, you know, get to moving, chatting a little bit, talking this, that, and the other.
Yo, Mandem are one group though.
When you
You know what I mean?
about the guns and whatnot, and how you know it could look bad and
And
stuff,
they're the
it would
only
look
group
bad
that
if
really are
people
throwing big events.
We're airing out that business. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And again, it is business. But
I guess it depends on what kind of business it is. So if it's a legal business, I don't think there's, I wouldn't see a problem with, like, you know, having it's supposed to be out there. It's supposed to be advertised, but I guess, you know, if it's the stuff that Shadow was talking about, yeah, obviously that's got to stay under the radar.
Like, I
Chat, know I just realized?
What we all want here.
There's elevators
I agree. We
moving
don't
up
need
and
50
down
chain gangs
in
the
that
city.
building, right in front of us.
But
Look
yeah,
at that.
I definitely agree
I
on,
never
you know,
never
working
noticed
together
that.
for information, for business-wise.
We wanted to use the weekly meeting for as a chance to have people pitch ideas for events or you know for storefronts or whatnot, and we actually have an initial idea for one event that we could run to kind of kick off the coalition. Unless was there anything else that anyone wanted to cover before we kind of moved on to the next topic?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. All right, so the idea that we were having for the first event was something along the lines of basically what we heard as feedback from the last meeting. It sounded like a lot of people were really interested in building more connections, you know, learning more about people, building and strengthening relationships, etc., etc. And you know, I'm pretty new to the city myself, and one of the problems I've had by far the most is building and meeting people, building connections. And I've personally found the most fulfillment, and if anything, the most reward when I meet new people and I vibe with them. And I think they're really cool, etc. But so this kind of led us to the idea of like, why don't we have an event where people can build these connections, where people can actually like you know, there are tons of events where it's like a music event or a record label release, or you know, people all on top of some rooftop dancing to music, jumping off with parachutes, right? It's not really that great for each individual. You don't really get to interact or participate that much. You kind of just watch, you know, like the event that's going on. It's all kind of the same thing. It's all muddled together. And so you put everything that I just said together, and an idea that we had was around, so like, hear me out. Has everyone done like speed dating before?
No.
No, but I understand the concept.
No,
Yeah,
but if
so the
I swear to God, Mike, if it feels like the first day of school,
I get speed dumped.
Yeah,
Speed
yeah,
dump.
bring it speed dump.
So,
Jesus guy.
so the concept of speed dating is basically where, you know, you let's say you have a group of people. It originally started with like romance, obviously, right? So you're trying to find like a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever it is you're looking for, right? And it started off with that, but obviously it quickly moved on to more like speed friendship. And the general idea is you have, let's say you have 50 people all go to this speed dating event. Then the idea is like every few minutes you're talking to a person, and then you swap the person you're talking to. And the idea is that you kind of speed meet people. So you meet like 20 people in that hour or whatever it is. And of the 20 people, maybe you like some, maybe you don't like some, you know. And the ones that you really do like, the ones that you really do connect with, you know, you kind of get their number, and you'd be able to like use time otherwise to build that connection with them. So the first idea we had was around speed dating. I know this has been done before. I've talked and asked around. And I know it's been done on a smaller scale. I think I've heard it like Burger Shot and City Council or wherever it is that there's been smaller scale, but we're thinking about something on a much larger scale. And again, the idea is really, we want to get the name of this coalition out, right? And imagine like we have 50, 60, 70 people, maybe even 100. I don't know how many we could get.
Too much to worry about.
Yep.
I think it's a good idea, but I think we need like an attraction for people that definitely want to get there. I think it'll be good for like new people who are like, ooh, people I can meet. But I think we should get like maybe like one music artist or one of you guys sing or something like that.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
of course.
that.
Yeah, there's a few people I could reach
because
out
we
to.
want to get as many people as possible, and
Well,
not
I
just
would-
people who've been to the city for like a month or two.
Just a
Yeah.
heads up, we might be having a song coming out soon, which will involve Sparky. I don't know if you guys know Sparky
Yeah,
from the
Sparky.
Roadman.
Yeah, Sparky came.
So yeah, we could get Sparky to come down there and then do our song, do a bunch of his own songs, and he could perform down there as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
we're
also.
also really close with Big Toe.
Yeah,
Like,
Toe would perform. Toe would
Yeah.
perform.
Ooh, I love Big Toe.
I love Toe so much.
Yeah, or Sana.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah,
I'm also.
Sana. I can always talk Sana.
I'm also the assistant regional manager for Wu Chang, so I can definitely pull someone if needed.
I'm the vocal coach for Wu Chang, so.
Also, just so
Oh,
everybody
okay.
knows, like, I'm happy to make like graphics and shit. I used to do that around the city. That was my whole
Wait,
thing,
really?
was advertising and graphic design.
Let's go.
We were gonna get the
Oh
Tony
my
to do
God.
it.
Got some creatives
better.
here. Yay.
Wait, yo, can I get your number, please?
Okay.
No. So
Well, here's the thing. When I used to do events, the problem is if other people are promoting events around the same time, or people are planning other stuff, it just gets messy.
It can
It's
get
a
messy.
lot better if
Yeah.
you just like make a schedule and go, okay, this amount of time we're working on planning this. This is when we're promoting it. This is when we're doing it. Then you take like a couple days in between, and then you go, okay, working on it, promoting it, doing it. Like you just gotta block it out. Otherwise, everything just gets all scattered and
It's
people are-
overstimulating.
No, I totally agree. Okay, so maybe I went about explaining this the wrong way. Basically, I plan on working on the speed dating stuff, and I'm just going to look into logistics. I'm just going to ask questions, and I'm not going to take the resources from the greater group. I just plan on working on it and just figuring more
Yeah, we're not
details out
going to
about
promote it. It's just going to get it set in stone, and then when we finish the first of it,
Exactly.
we can get straight onto the second one.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Sidwick. Thank you. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave my number here. If anyone is interested in the speed dating thing, I'm just gonna be doing investigation and trying to figure out a venue and everything else. But again, not gonna be taking the resources from the greater group. I totally agree. We should be focusing on one thing at a time. Yeah, that is it.
Okay. Does that sound good, everyone?
Thanks, everyone.
Wait, so let's schedule a time that generally we'll try to meet next. So are we thinking Tuesday right now?
Yeah, we could do Tuesday around about this time, I guess.
Yeah, around about this time. Okay.
I have church that day. I'm just kidding. No, but I actually do go to that church thing.
Fuck yeah. This has been fucking amazing,
Wait,
guys.
which
Thank
church?
you. Is it pretty interesting? I know this is more like business RP stuff. It's not like super, like cheap laughs all the time. Like the Mike that we see right now is very different from the Mike from week 1 where he's kind of like obsessed over Lucas, right?
I don't see like a downside to doing it. I don't know if I see like mega outcomes from it, but I definitely don't see a downside.